Everybody's freaking out about this newest anime ban. Again, last time everybody freaked out about it, it really wasn't true. Nothing was happening. They weren't actually doing anything. They were banning things that should have been banned in the first place. I'm not going to get into it. If you want to look into it, look into it. Everybody's freaking out again. Is it the same one? Is this the same bill that everybody was talking about last time?
If you don't know what you're looking at, let me explain. This is the bill in Texas that threatens to ban all anime. For instance, if...
No, it's not. This isn't the bill. This is the bill filing, the bill report. Show me what the bill says.
If you were to watch something like Goblin Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach, you would be
No, that's not happening.
labeled as a felon. You might recall this conversation earlier this year, back in February 2025, where everybody was talking about it, and it gained so much traction that we even have Japanese politicians talking about the subject and closely monitoring this bill that is actively moving through Congress, moving through the House and Senate, and how it can have an overarching effect not just on the United States, but also around the world. Because the bill, for many people's agreement, it's unconstitutional. It will affect freedom of speech,
Okay, show me the bill. Let's see the bill.
freedom of expression, it will hurt cartoons, it'll hurt anime, animation, drawings, it will hurt a lot of things. And
How? How's it gonna do it? Damn it! Just don't tell me it's doing things and then don't tell me how.
so a lot of people are actively watching where this bill is going. However, you might recall a few weeks ago, there was an article I covered and many others talked about as well, to where niche gamers said,
If he doesn't show the bill, then I will look into it myself. And we'll look over it in this video.
that Democrats block a bill to ban Goblin Slayer and other anime in Texas. And the bill in question that was blocked...
I've never heard of this site. Niche Gamer? What? Niche Gamer? I had coffee on my mustache. What is this? And never heard of it.
according to this article, was SB 20, which I'm talking about in this video. This article is clearly not accurate. It is not accurate by any means, because the bill just a few days ago effectively was passed by the House. And it's actually worse than you thought. It wasn't the Democrats trying to block it. In fact, the Democrats all said yes to the bill, and so did the Republicans.
Yeah, what's the bill? What's the bill? Why did everybody say yes to it? Even Democrats, who are sexual and weird. Always obsessed with sex. And they love anime.
So both political sides of the spectrum basically said yes to the bill being passed. 139 yeses, 0 nays, and 2 present but did not vote. So what this effectively means is it was a unanimous vote from both political parties to put SB 20 in action.
Still nothing. Still not showing you the bill. What is this bill? Hang on, let me look it up. No, wait, I have a better idea. Instead of me trying to explain the bill, when this guy's done yapping, I'm gonna watch somebody else explain it.
So this article saying that Democrats were on the side of the people trying to ban this bill is factually incorrect. This was made back in the 8th of May, 2025. I wanted to point this out because many might remember I covered this topic and so many others did, but it's very clear that this is aged very poorly and the bill is still moving through, and so I don't know where this information actually came from. But let's get back on topic.
I don't know where your information came from, bro.
So what is the bill? Why are people worried? And how will this affect you? So first of all, we need to talk about this subject right here. It has been filed. It was out of Senate committee. Then it was voted on by the Senate. Then it was out of the House committee. And then it was voted on by the House. And as you can see by the dates here, literally on the 22nd of May here, it was voted. Unanimously, it passed. You can see the color codings here. If it's green, it indicates that the bill has passed this stage. There's 2 more stages for it to officially become a law.
And it's gonna happen. It's gonna pass. It's gonna become law. When it gets that far down to where it's all that's left is the governor, he's gonna sign it, or she.
For instance, it needs to reach the governor table, and then the bill becomes law. And where you're getting the overall date of September 1st, apparently, according to this, if the bill does pass the government table, the governor's table, it will officially become a law on September 1st, 2025, pretty much banning all anime in the states. Which means...
What? No? I don't think so. Sure, maybe I can believe that if you show me what the fucking bill says!
That this can have an overarching effect, and this bill might be introduced into other states around the country and might cause other countries to follow suit with this bill. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. What I'm trying to say is that the bill so far hasn't fully become law yet.
I think you've gone past yourself, bro. You're not ahead of yourself. You need to get ahead of yourself and tell us what the fucking bill is.
However, it's not inaccurate to say the bill hasn't passed. It did pass the House, and it is concerning, especially when you factor in that all sides, Republicans and Democrats, said yes to the bill, which means that it is not really a...
It makes me think that it was something that needed to happen, and it makes sense that it would happen, like banning cheese pizza, if you know what cheese pizza actually means.
Far-fetched thing to say that the governor of Texas won't sign it and say yes to it. It's very unlikely he's going to deny it. It's possible, but it's very unlikely when you have both sides agree on this subject. So, if it does theoretically happen, and it does become law, that's where things get even more interesting. It will obviously be...
But what's going to become law? Yeah, I still want to know. What's becoming law? What changes are being made? What are they banning, really? They're not just banning all anime and cartoons. That'd be fucking insane. I could see them trying it.
Be pushed into federal court, aka the Supreme Court, and it will be, probably for many years, maybe months, I don't know, where it's going to be debated if it's constitutional or not, and at this current time, it's appearing that it's definitely not constitutional.
I can't tell if it is or isn't.
So let's get into the wording and why people are actually concerned. This right here is what the Texas SB 20 bill has within it, and I showed this many months ago when this was brought up, but basically, at first glance, this seems like a good thing that the politicians brought up. They're trying to ban usage of AI depicting actual kids and images of kids being processed through AI. At first glance, this is a good thing. I fully support that. I'm just going to be completely point blank on that. It is a good thing that they want to ban that because...
Yep. That's probably the main thing that they voted on.
Obviously, that is very harmful. However, the bill also adds and tacks on cartoons, animation, and other things like that in sculptures, which means that it won't just stop at actual real kids being hurt, but just random depictions in anime, manga, and also in cartoons will effectively be banned.
Okay. No, I don't think that's what that's gonna do. I think that's just preventing cheese pizza. You can't depict children in a bad way, you know? Sure, maybe some of these shows have that stuff in it. It'll just get censored. They're not gonna ban the whole cartoon outright. The company that makes it isn't gonna let that happen. They'll just re-release it with censorship.
Which is why the subject matter of you can become a felon just for watching Goblin Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach, or other anime.
I don't think that it's going to make it illegal to view it. I think it's going to make it illegal to distribute it and possibly own Rule 34 of it or have Rule 34 of stuff on your computer. It's probably going to prevent stuff like that. I don't see it getting into the actual anime.
Has been brought up because of this. Now, in terms of optics, when you look at the overall captions of this bill, it makes a lot of sense why both political parties have, unanimously said yes to this bill, because obviously it does look bad if you go against this bill. It does, because obviously, why wouldn't you want to protect a kid? Makes sense. It does. It does. However, with the way the wording is and how loose it is and how obscenity laws are and everything, it could be really harmful to a lot of people. It can actually legitimately cause just blanket bans of anime, manga, sculptures, paintings. You get the point.
There are some that definitely are going to get banned and need to get banned. I don't think that the things that you're speaking of are the things that are going to be banned, like Goblin Slayer or Naruto, Bleach, and things like that.
So that is where the concern actually lies. So I understand why both parties on both political sides probably unanimously agreed to this, because they might not have read the entirety of the bill, and they might not fully understand what anime and cartoons are.
He's talking about you haven't read the entirety of the bill, and still hasn't shown the entirety of the bill.
And let's be honest, there's a lot of old fogies within Congress, the Senate, and House, and Supreme Court. Yeah, of course they wouldn't understand technology and cartoons and anime, etc. It's not meant for them. They don't watch what we watch, basically. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of optics around this. There's a lot of people discussing about the AI segment of it, which makes sense why they want to ban that. I'm actually on board with that.
I don't even really care about the AI stuff. I care about all of it. Yeah, we shouldn't be depicting children in these terrible, weird ways. And I don't care if it's in shows that I like. Take it out. Stuff that's in Bleach and Naruto. Take it out. I don't need to see these over-the-top sexualized high school girls. It's fucking weird. But once again, I don't even think that's what this is tackling.
Because processing real, actual kids in an AI generator, yes, that is dangerous. Very dangerous. But attaching other stuff associated with that is what the problem with this bill actually is. That's why people have an issue with it. Because, like I said, you could just become a felon for watching One Piece or Goblin Slayer, which is
That's fucking ridiculous. Stop saying that. That's not how it's gonna go down. That's not what's gonna happen. That's not what's happening.
Obviously not a good thing. So, what happens next? Well, at this current time, the bill stages, it's up to the governor. We have to see what the governor is going to do. We got to see if it's going to pass or not. Because for all we know, maybe the governor just denies it. And that means that it does not happen. It won't pass. But there's a very high likely chance it's going to. Which then, that means the next stage is the Supreme Court. Which is not good. So we'll see where that one goes. But yeah, I wanted to keep everybody up to date because I saw...
He wants to keep everybody up to date. This guy's dishonest as fuck. Even if he is telling the truth, like, bro, show me the whole bill and let's get into the bill. You don't even have to talk about the bill. Just have it up. All right, I'm gonna watch Clownfish TV, see what he's got to say about this, because he'll actually get into it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it looks like your anime is getting banned. Well, some of it is. This Texas bill, which is the first I've heard of it, by the way. It's making the rounds. Apparently, it's been discussed for the last couple months now. But Texas Bill SB 20 is an anime ban, and it did pass the House. So this is going to be interesting if it gets passed, because as I understand it, they are going to criminalize the possession of any anime or manga material featuring characters that look underaged.
Wait. Okay.
I think they've already said that they're not going after popular anime like Bleach.
In adult situations, or just in general? Because that's the case in Pokemon and stuff.
No, I think in potentially adult situations. So,
okay, because I was like, I mean, you're like, that would limit a lot of things at that point.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this, see if we can make sense of it. Yeah, it could be that maybe people are misunderstanding the law.
I think people are misunderstanding it, and people are lying about it and being dishonest about it because they are creepy and weird and they don't want any kind of law passed about anime, which I can get. Honestly, I think AI is getting too insane that this actually isn't going to even help anything.
I don't know. But it is making its way through the system.
Anime. Oh my god.
Oh, they've been trying to do that. Australia was doing it. They were banning stuff too.
It's just, to me, it's just okay. And the problem with the anime is
Yeah, and another thing is, like, everybody keeps saying it's an anime ban. By the way, it is not an anime ban. It is on anime, video games, cartoons, movies, everything. Pictures. That person mentioned earlier, sculptures, you know, just like general art.
there are characters oftentimes that look young, but they're supposed to be like 23 or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's well, yeah, of course you've also got those that are like, oh, yeah, she looks 12, but she's really 874 years old.
Yeah. Dance in the Vampire Bund. I watched that by accident when I was a kid. And I thought it was creepy then.
Right.
So
it's totally
she's
okay.
She's incredibly experienced, and that's what keeps her so youthful. She's a shapeshifter or some, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, it's yeah, whatever. It's a dicey, it's kind of a dicey situation. But again, we're dealing with cartoon characters, lines on paper. Well, I guess lines on a screen now, not actual children too.
And then people are also upset. They're like, oh, they're taking away the chibi style. Like, Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. No, that's not happening either. By the way, she is obviously an adult if you watch that.
So that's a whole issue. I don't know. That's the whole thing is, I was going to say the whole thing is very sticky, but that is a very inappropriate comment.
Well, you're just getting arrested in Texas now. You know?
So let's talk about this ban on weebdom. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
We are both of age, by the way, despite the avatars.
Yes. Are we going to be banned? Oh my gosh, we're going to be banned.
We're going to be banned. Oh my God, guys. Okay, so I had to go back to an article from last month to understand this.
Oh shit, I'm a cartoon. I look kind of young. Am I going to get banned from Texas? Am I going to get thrown in prison?
I'm sure, because we're going to get in the comments. I'm sure there are people that have been following this day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour that understand it better than I do that actually live in Texas.
Cool. I hope you do, because I have no clue what's going on.
But I'm just going by
I think the biggest problem with this bill is that it's so vague.
The article here. So Texas anime ban. Here's the bill that has weebs nervous. They said similar language was used in banning books back in 2023. Okay, so Texas law aimed at cracking down on kiddie stuff. Understandable, yeah. Has some anime fans worried that its broad language could impact swaths of entertainment that include the genre, including popular animated shows and manga.
They can't. They literally can't. Even if they did try and pass a bill that banned all that stuff, they can't do it because it's just everywhere. It's too ingrained into all of the streaming services. They'd have to ban streaming services from Texas. All of them. Every single one of them. And that's just not going to happen. They'd have to ban video games. Like video game services. Microsoft Store, that'd be banned. Game Pass would be banned. The Play Store would be banned. They literally can't, even if they tried. And I don't think they can anyway. With what they've got going now, because AI is just going absolutely insane.
The law also aims to crack down on AI-generated art, probably featuring underage persons. Texas Senate Bill 20 would create a criminal offense for the possession of or promotion of obscene visual material appearing to depict a child. So it doesn't have to be confirmed, just appearing.
But it has to be obscene material. So, you know,
right.
Pokemon and stuff safe, guys, unless you're doing really creepy fan art.
Well, that's why people are nervous, right? So if the subject under scrutiny appears to be a minor, that could net someone.
It's so hard. So hard to not draw a minor depicted in weird ways. These people are fucking creepy, man. I don't even want to see it in my anime. I don't want it to be blurring the lines. I just want normal shit. I actually don't even like sex scenes at all. Like all the fan service that they put in anime with the tits bouncing everywhere, I don't like it. I wish that stuff could just stay out. I really like High School DxD, but it's weird and creepy. The story's good and the fights are cool, but I don't like the weird fan service stuff. Whoever's a fan of that, there's a special spot in hell for people like those people. I watched that show in high school. I wouldn't go back and watch it now.
A felony charge and jail time. So what you got?
Felony charge?
So what you got to do, like, so you're okay. So let me get straight.
If you have a video, and the character appears to be a minor, even though they might not be in the video, and they're doing lewd things, you could get a felony charge.
I swear she turned 18 yesterday.
Like,
so,
this cartoon's 18 years old. So
this cartoon is this cartoon's
30.
It's not clear whether the passage of the bill would impact the broad genre of anime, which often colloquially refers to animated shows primarily from Japan, but also South Korea and China, or if it would target or crack down on people uploading or possessing already illicit pornographic, animated, or AI-generated videos. So let me get this straight. So you could literally go to jail for, if I'm understanding this correctly, if they're understanding it correctly, you could go to jail for an AI animated video of an anime character doing dirty stuff that is of a questionable age, could very well be of age, but there's no way to tell because it's a damn cartoon.
Right. So
But
it's very
yeah.
subjective.
So if somebody takes a look at it and says, no, I swear she looks like she's underage, and that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it probably is going to have to be extremely obvious and not going to be questionable in court. It's going to have to be like High School DxD. They're actual like high school girls, or maybe Sekirei. Ooh, actually a good anime that I like that might get affected by this, but I doubt. But it could. It's High School of the Dead. All these high school anime, pretty much.
that's okay. So I'm just,
So if you're generating these and it looks young, make sure she keeps screaming over and over again, but I'm 23, but I'm 23.
make sure she flashes her driver's license before.
I look young, but I'm 23. Bend me over, but I'm 23.
That actually sounds like a light novel.
I'm gonna do
Bend
some
me
very,
over,
very
but I'm
fun things to
23
you.
and I'm.
A big argument that people say against stuff like this, or like against this bill for the stuff being in anime, is that, oh, it's a different culture. Women are 16. They're adults in Japan. I don't give a fuck. That's not the culture we have here. Honestly, I think 18's too young, if you want my opinion.
But I'm
From another
23. Sorry.
The slime bent me over when I turned 23, and I was transported from another world into
But I'm
this
23.
one.
I wonder if it would affect children who turn into adults, like who take on adult form. Is that the same thing?
But I'm 23. The exact language from the bill states that a person commits an offense if the person knowingly possesses, accesses with intent to view, or promotes obscene visual.
I was just holding it for a friend.
I wasn't gonna look at it.
Oh my god.
How the hell
Okay.
are you gonna enforce this?
They're not. They can't. It's not gonna happen. They're stupid. It's just a bunch of old people who don't watch anime, who don't play video games.
Like, or promotes obscene visual material containing the depiction that appears to be of a child younger than 18.
How anime characters look young in general. I mean, I don't understand.
That's the issue, isn't it? Right? They said whether the issue is a depiction of an actual child, a cartoon or animation, or an image created using AI. According to the bill, obscene visual material is defined as patently offensive representation.
Yeah, it's just gonna have to be obviously breaking this. Whatever is obviously breaking it, like, it gotta be a child in a diaper with a pacifier in its mouth and weird situations.
Or descriptions of ultimate sexual acts. Ultimate sexual acts. How is that any different from a regular sexual act?
I don't know, but I'm not.
Is that like ultimate sexual acts?
Yeah, they're probably talking about like actual porn. Stuff that would be on RedTube or XNXX or being shared around on 4chan.
Lines. 23! Oh my god!
I want an ultimate sexual act now, man.
Well,
I'm over 23.
normal or perverted. Wait, what? Ultimate sexual acts, normal or perverted, actual or simulated, including P and V, P and A, and P with animals.
This is an insane bill, actually. I don't know how I feel about this because it's kind of hilarious. Like, what they have to use in the wording for this bill entertains me.
Well, there goes that Pokemon fanfic, right?
Penalties range from a state jail felony at its lowest level of enforcement, a third-degree felony for those with a one-time charge of the same offense, and a second-degree felony if a person has been convicted of the crime 2 or more times. Can you imagine going to prison?
Explain that. What are you in for? I'm in for murder. What are you in for?
Could you imagine going to prison for possessing Dragon Ball? The original Dragon Ball. That would be fucking insane. I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I own all of it. Every version of it.
Well, I was looking at a cartoon that the girl looked like she wasn't old enough and she was sleeping with an animal. So, here I am.
I jacked off to anime, okay? It's like, yeah, you're going to be in. Well, I guarantee you, your cellmates are going to be of age. And they're going to perform ultimate sexual acts on you.
But I'm 23.
But I'm 23. Oh my God. According to Pornhub's 2024 year in review, the term hentai was the world's most searched term of 2024 for the fourth
hentai,
year
yes.
in a row. Wait, okay, hold on.
I think that's probably because people in one session are gonna search it over and over again because they're trying to find the perfect one because there's so much garbage out there. I know from experience. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. I try to not touch myself, and I do a pretty good job of it, I think.
Okay. I have to take this in. The term hentai was the world's most searched term of 2024. Just on Pornhub or like all of Google? Like over the weather?
I don't know. They're not clear about that.
In the US, it was the 15th most searched term. Okay, so I'm thinking it's Pornhub. Okay, so my essay is San Antonio, I guess. Couldn't view the year in review blog without a bypass using archival service because the popular porn site has Texas users blocked over HB 1811 and its age verification requirements. U.S. was a top country. Here's all the dirty states. There's so apparently it's been blocked in 17 states. I did not know this. Okay, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. You cannot access.
Well, hey,
that
we're in PA, so it was still okay, I guess. Some of those states, it's okay to if you have parental permission to get married really, really young, but you can't watch anime. That's inappropriate. What if you're driving through and you're like going to Florida and you're taking it with you? And you have to go through the states and you get pulled over.
Yeah. What the hell? It's like, I'm sorry, can I see your...
That'd be a crazy situation to find yourself in. You're transporting Dragon Ball over state lines, and all of a sudden you're a felon. That'd be insane.
iPad. What is that? What is that? How old is she? She's 23.
That's right.
God.
Actually, officer, she's 9,000 years old.
Okay,
I'm way
so
too
I
amused
think,
by this.
I think the intention of this and the road, it's always paved with good intentions, right? To censorship, to whatever. I think the intention was probably some of those dirty books that have been creeping into libraries, school libraries,
Right.
where there are cartoon characters literally performing ultimate sexual acts on each other.
Don't forget that schools just let kids have phones and iPads and stuff now in class. And they just have that stuff on their phones and iPads and tablets. Kids are drawing it. Kids have always drawn weird, like porn stuff. But it's getting weirder because it's more accessible. And a lot of kids don't even think it's a bad thing. They're like, what's the big deal? People are naked. People have sex. It's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like explicit in books that are being recommended by librarians. Like,
I'm sure they are. It's always the quiet ones.
oh my God. Like they told me to read Tolkien. They told me to read Little House on the Prairie.
I'm sure
This
they have
wasn't
some
Little House on
versions
the
of both of those with characters that do other things.
Laura Ingalls is wilder now. She's ever been. All right. ALA approved. So that's probably the intention, but
Okay,
yeah.
so that was then. So have we had so is there an update?
So this is the
now?
update. It's been passed. So May 22nd, the House of Representatives voted on passed SB 20, a bill created by the state of Texas. It could end up banning all anime. I don't know if it's going to ban all anime. Just the dirty stuff. The bill had been voted on and passed by the Senate on March.
A lot of ecchi anime gone. And I'm happy about it. I'm not mad about this. I don't think that I disagree with this bill. I don't like the government cracking down on stuff that they don't know anything about, though. But that also means that they're not going to be very good at it.
12th by both Democrats and Republicans. This means all that needs to happen is for the governor to sign it to become law. The bill does not specifically target anime. Anime, video games, and other forms of digital media could fall under the bill's scope of cracking down on
Well, there goes gotcha games. Like half of them just gone immediately.
explicit content involving minors.
So it's gonna impact, you know, video games and stuff too.
I'm glad we got this bill instead of the anti-gambling bill first. Like, what the fuck, man? Protect the kids. This is actually not protecting kids. This is actually just taking down weird, creepy adults, which I'm for. But like, can we get something about the gambling when it comes to actually directly affecting kids? I don't care. It makes too much money.
Yeah.
And it's so silly because it could be the character literally is in the bio and everything else is an adult, but because somebody thinks it looks too young.
Well, that's just so. Here's the thing. Like, I understand the intention behind it, right? Because there's some creepy ass stuff out there.
Yeah, but it's not gonna work. And you're just gonna create more criminals, and the actual criminals that you're trying to affect with this bill are too smart, and they're gonna get by it. So good luck.
It really is. I get that, but I also know that there was overreach. Like, I remember Patreon was going through people's Google Drives looking for anime style artwork that could be misconstrued as, you know, like he even makes a joke here. He said, what that means for your 10,000-year-old demon masquerading as a 10-year-old girl remains to be seen. Under this law, possessing that could land you behind bars.
Good. I think, and creating it could land you behind bars. And sharing it around could land you behind bars, which I kind of don't disagree with, but I kind of do agree with. Yeah, I agree with it and I disagree with it. I don't know how I feel about it, really. Except for the fact I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't think this is going to affect anything.
I just think it's funny because, true story, when I was student teaching, and ironically I was 23.
You were 23?
I know, I was 23.
You know, I think what's going to happen with this is there are going to be streaming services going to court with Texas because they're not going to want to pull their shows from their streaming services. They make too much money. I think it'll cost less money just to take Texas to court and leave it up.
I was student teaching and I always looked really young. Like I always did. And they tried to send me, they one day I was in the hallway and tried to send me back to my classroom. And I'm like, I'm the student teacher. And then later on, I was, 28 and I was buying a maternity, outfit for my sister because she was pregnant. And the lady goes, oh, sweetie, are you 18 yet? Do you want to get a credit card? And I was like, I'm 28. And she's like, well, you don't look it. So I'm like, you could look young and still be 23 or 28.
That is true. And
yeah, the gray areas, I don't think this is going to affect. It's going to affect the stuff that's just obviously egregious.
And it's also true. She did look young, but I knew you're actually older than I am. So it's weird. She's a 10,000-year-old demon. She doesn't need
me
the rage.
Oh, yes. It's all been bottled, and that's why it just comes out.
Yes.
It's just,
All right. So this is
call me a 10,000-year-old demon.
Well, no, because they were talking about the 10,000-year-old demon.
Wow. Anyway, that took a turn.
Yeah, straight up insult your wife. Says she looks like she's 10,000 years old and a demon.
I'll show you a 10,000-year-old demon later.
Yeah, when he's sleeping on the couch.
No, you won't. Not after that comment.
No, that's what I mean. There won't be any.
I thought I was in for something special. That's okay. Anyway.
All right.
You lost the ultimate act now, man.
You're over 23, so it's all good, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna be a felon. Clownfish, or what's his name? Neon.
Kotaku in action. Controversial Texas bill passes. There's some of the comments here. This person says, I feel like I'm living in a simulation sometimes where politicians are more worried about defenseless drawings rather than actual people. Yeah, that's what's kind of weird about it. Like, it seems like they're very quick to ban comics and cartoons and stuff like that. But like, oh, real kids? All this stuff is being like, on social media, like trafficking, whatever.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. It's not only here in the U.S., Brazil, the drug cartel situation is worse in Mexico. The feds priority is to catch people sharing manga scans on the internet. It's big money in it. You know, that's just it. They said professional politicians love going after pointless stuff because it makes it look like they're actually doing something.
Yeah, that's probably
True. This isn't going to do anything at all. People think it's gonna. People are going to be like, this is going to ban anime. And it's going to ban nothing. Even the things that it's trying to ban. And it's still going to be out there and accessible and available and being shared. Nobody cares that stuff is illegal. Especially if they're smarter than the government and they know how to get around the government's checks.
true.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I remember Australia was trying to ban stuff. I remember, like...
I mean, I get it when it involves kids, but the problem is with anime is, you know, sometimes it's very blatant that it's children. But oftentimes, it might look like a young person, but, you know, it's somebody who's supposed to be an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. So there it is, guys. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. This is bullshit. This is just to make it seem like they're doing something for the kids. And it's not actually going to do anything. Every fucking time with this shit, man. They didn't actually show me the bill like I wanted, but they showed me a lot more information than the other guy did. And he was outright saying, hey, we're just going to ban anime. All of it. You're going to be a felon now for possessing Goblin Slayer. And that's just not what's happening. Actually, nothing's happening. That's all I got for this one. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.